Hello, and thank you all for joining us here by the fire. I'm your Tavern Keeper, teller of tale, master of mugs, and keeper of the fire that warms your heart. And tonight, the hunt begins. First, I would like to welcome you all to the fire, and thank you, Aiden and Tipped, for joining us tonight. I love a good snack. So here's how we're going to do things in this tavern of ours. Tonight, we're going to start in the northern waste of Jot'Kadon, where the hunt will begin. Tonight's tale carries cold on its breath. It is the first true hunt of the season, not for hunger, but for glory, pride, and honor. Some say it's madness to stalk a beast that has never been bested. Others say it's the only way to earn your name in the lands where wind can speak louder than gods. So here's how we're going to do this thing in this tavern of ours. We're going to set our eyes north to the crooked hearth of Yaga's Baba in the beginning of Logan's legend. In the cracking tree lines of the Jot'Kadon's taiga, before the tundra steppe, where even the sun seems to shiver, outside something walks with a mane of ice and a hunger for warmth, and inside something walks with a hunger for that legend to know its name. So I know that we kind of jumped right into it there, but for those of you just joining us, we built Logan Wafret Daria, a seeker of glory and legend in the frozen north of Jot'Kadon. Oh, Goblin, thank you for joining us here by the fire. Excellent. So, our tale begins in the crooked-walled tavern of Yaga's Baba, a cabin of moss-draped eaves and goat-foot charms, squatting at the edge of the world. As we walk in, the hearth roars low, shadows bend around it, and in the wide chair near this, the flames sit Yaga herself, bone beads in her braids, in a teacup the size of your regrets. A teacup the size of your regrets cradled in her claws. She does not offer you a traditional greeting, only a gesture towards the bar.
Lay your payment at the bar, and listen.
The bar stretches out at the far end, a shining, oak-stained... It would be a large, very large teacup, I think. My regrets are huge. What are we shanking tonight? You made me break character for a second when you asked me that. I think we're going to shank everything, yeah? No regrets? Not even one letter? That's funny because our character has one single regret. His single regret was that he stole the glory from a Waitari, my version of gnomes and halflings. He stole the glory from a guard there. They were getting attacked by yetis, and he seemed to come onto it at the end of it. But the merchants who were hiding saw him taking down the very last one, so they gave all the glory to him, which is something that he's very much against, is glory stealing. Not claiming the glory. We are a keel stealer, the dreaded keel stealer. Absolutely. So that was our one big regret. So this long bar stretches out before you. It's like stained oak and scarred across the top of it. And in the back, the bar's unmanned. In the back, you have some cabinets. And there's a few patrons around this dingy bar. It's really contrasting between how clean the top of the bar is to how kind of dark and dingy the rest of the shadowy eaves are. And then it's over to you guys. What do you want to do? I know, I always hate a kill stealer, especially in Halo. Get a drink. So what do we lay for payment on our bar there? Oh, I got so excited and jumped right in. I forgot to show you this sweet ass overlay I made. That's pretty cool, huh? Shank a keg of ale. Get a drink. Shank a keg of ale. So if you want to grab a drink, she didn't specify what you need as payment, but as you look over, you see someone else walk up to the bar and they lay a bracelet on the bar. And as they lay a bracelet on the bar, the bracelet slowly disappears and fades away, and a cabinet opens, and seemingly of its own accord, a mug, slightly adorned with light decorations, floats out, and seemingly of its own accord lands on the tabletop, and the person takes a drink out of it. I know, it was really hard, and I thought I had the chat to where it would pop up in the where it says patrons. You guys are supposed to pop up right there, and so I can see you without having to look to the side and break immersion. You know what I mean? I'm working on it though. I also need to get a heater out here into the garage I've been banished into because it's a little chilly. Oh, I forgot. I got so excited because I had so many viewers, I forgot to do this. Have we jewels? We have some stuff. I don't know that we have jewels. Let me double check our inventory sheet I have in my nifty book here. I think I have it up here on your inventory as well, but if it's blurry, you may not be able to see it. We have an explorer's pack. We have the Warden's Grammar, which is like a monster hunting kit. We're a Verdant Warden, which is essentially a nature Goliath, and we're also a paladin. I don't believe I listed that in the in my overlay there. I'd imagine we have a few coins. I don't believe I have it. I don't believe I listed it, but I'd say we probably have maybe 8 to 10 gold. And then some stuff in our explorer's pack, you know, like rope and, you know, what have you. I only had so much room and I wasn't sure how to make this without taking up too much space and you guys being able to read it still. But I'm getting better. I have a very nifty light. Any coins on it? Put a gold down and see what happens. Okay, cool. So you set a gold down and the gold disappears as well into the bar top, and from the same cabinets but in front of you, a mug unadorned floats out and it lands on the bar top in front of you. And the mug is a plain porcelain mug, crystal clear white, with a single polar bear paw print on it. We also are wearing a polar bear cloak that we have, similar as this right here, and I believe we have some polar bear leather armor. And as you lift it and drink from the mug, a golden amber light spills from the top. It does match us. A golden amber light spills from the top. I'm not telling you if you get to keep the cup. You can ask the hag. She'll let you know. Are we going to drink from the cup? It's a big cup. Look deeply into the light. D20 for sleight of hand. Is there change from the gold piece? No change from the gold piece. Let me go one at a time. Sleight of hand to steal the full mug. Is that what you're saying, Bojitsu? You look deeply into it, and it is a light amber honey color, and it seems to be slightly thicker than your typical ale. Get out of here, silly bot. No change from the gold piece, and chug. So we're chugging. So we take a deep drink. And as we do, a light and warmth. Bot shame. A light and warmth spread through our body, and our already very confident, very reckless main character here, Logan, he feels even more confident and strangely stronger and more powerful. A light warmth begins to fill his chest. Like, it's pretty tasty ale. Yeah, the next thing I had written that I didn't get to yet was it matches the porcelain cup matches the cloak across your shoulders and the armor strapped to your back. So nobody's still in the tavern to get Quest of Glory from? This cup and the drink were meant for us. So there are a few people around the tavern. We can take a perception check to see what we see here. I don't have a dice cam yet, but I'm going to work on that too. But you guys have gotten a 9, and I believe we have a plus. What's to our perception? Oh, I have it in my lovely magical tome here. Oh yeah, we suck at perception. Our wisdom is a -2, so we got a 7. So as you look around, you see some shadowy figures, and you don't really see anyone else besides Yaga herself seated across from the hearth, and then there is an old dwarf bundled up who is smoking a pipe in front of her. So as you notice the old dwarf, he takes a long drag from his curled pipe, and he breathes out a thick smoke that seems to waft across the thing. Go talk to the dwarf? Go. So as you guys approach the dwarf, he's going to start speaking as if he was continuing a conversation. He breathes out again, and this smoke hits you right in the face. And it seems to be a very thick, slow-moving smoke, and it smells faintly of lavender, chamomile, and spearmint. And as that smoke hits you, you relax a bit, and you hear him say,
"I, the Frostmane, haven't heard tale of that since the fall of Duthrod's Hall, and I've not touched Frostmead since."
Grab our chalice. I imagine we brought our chalice with us, for sure. That's sleepy time smoke. Way to call me out, Aiden. Miss Pouncewell, you nailed it exactly. I was like, what is sleepy time made of? And we're going to use that, and we're going to describe that as the smoke. Nailed it. I love that. So, as we voice our concerns of unfulfilled, what'd you say? Glory? With the confidence from the ale, we loudly ask about unfulfilled quest of glory. The Frostmane, what is this? In answer, the dwarf growls of frost giants who kept these Frostmane lions as pets. He says
The lion's mane was forged from the breath of winter gods, and that its roar is loud enough by itself to shatter bone.
But what you notice he doesn't say is that he's never that he's never seen one himself. He tells tale of frost giants keeping them similar to house cats. Murder kittens! Yes, they're super cool. Murder kitties. I want one too. I imagine that's why I went the theme with tonight. When it rolls back around to a brighter light, you can tell a little bit. This is kind of a light fur-colored theme. Aren't we Frost Tree Giant? So we're Verdant Warden, who is like a Goliath who is from nature, like a nature Goliath. And we are from like the tundra area. So that type of giant kin, which is what I call my version of the Goliaths, are from around, well, they each have a different name, but in general, what would be Goliaths is from different parts. The verdant Goliaths are the most prevalent throughout the world because they are in any area that is similar to a forest. So if you think a tundra, it would be there. It would also be in like the savanna of a desert. It could be in a rainforest, and they all kind of have an appearance that tie into that. If you want to know what Logan looks like, that's our beautiful man right there. That's our guy. Damn it. I really thought that was gonna... So my face is supposed to be beside that so I can point at it to my left. And also, I don't see the chat very well. But we're working on it, guys. We'll get there. So that's our gentleman there. We've got our Morning Star. He's a big dude. He's a big old dude. So that's our fella. He does have negative wisdom. He absolutely does. We rolled really high on some things. I believe we've got a 19 charisma, and we're fairly intelligent, but as far as street smarts, which I think is hilarious because we're a Verdant Warden who you would think would be good at things like survival. So if the dwarf has ever seen one, does he know the... He's never seen one. Does he know the whereabouts? So if you ask him about... You're going to ask him about that. So he's going to tell you... Let's give you guys a charisma roll. Let's see how much information we get out of this guy. Well, we got a 4. So that's a 4 plus... Where's our persuasion? Plus 6. So we get a 10, so pretty average. He's a bit evasive with his answers. He says,
Ah, boy, everyone knows of the Frost-Made Lions. Their legends have spread across these hills. I may have seen one or two's cloak in my time, or pelt in my time.
Yeah. So that's what you learned from him. He says a traveler just came through telling tale of a claw mark on a tree in the same woods that the tavern is in itself, and that is what reminded him of this tale. He couldn't tell you where. He says in the woods itself, where the tavern's currently located. Is the traveler still around? He is not. He says the traveler was a halfling or a Waitari man who was passing through. Does he know the traveler or where he was going? He was a traveler who was just passing through. It is our first time here at the tavern, the Yaga's Baba. But what we did learn from our parents, well, let's do a history check. Let's see what we know. Oh, much better. We got a 19, I think is plus something here, because we have good intelligence. Yes, 19. So we get a 21. So what we know of Yaga's Baba is that it's a moving tavern that has been known to traverse all of the major settlements of Jot'Kadon, from the frost giants to the few beast folk clans that live around here. You have some Arctic animal beast folk that live around this area that you would know about. Very, very, very few dwarves in recent times, and a couple of human settlements and other Frost Goliath settlements towards the north and the south. There's also a Frost Giant settlements towards the north and the south. Yaga's Baba is one of the few places that's considered safe. It's kind of a neutral ground, as she is a follower of one of the gods, and Krell, the god of darkness and secrets. And so nobody really wants to mess with her. She's also a crone, so you don't really mess with crones. Is it moving while we are inside of it? No, it's not. When you approached, you noticed that its spindly legs were spindly wooden tree, like chicken legs, were curled up underneath it, and that's why you could go into it so easily. You just walked up the steps. If we do a perception check here, that was pretty good. 14. So you can feel it tilting slightly left and right as you are inside of it. Not very noticeably, but almost as if like someone was breathing, just a very slight left to right. He did not know the traveler, and the traveler did not mention where he was going. He just mentioned that it was like like a ship on gentle waters. Come steal my job, Tip. That's perfect. Yes, very, very slowly, like a ship on almost placid waters. He does say, from the legends, he knows they're killing machines of great beauty, but that the frost giants kept them as pets, but also used them as materials. So they would use their bones and teeth and such for materials. So he just continues to tell tales of Duthrad's Hall, which was a dwarven settlement you begin to learn if you didn't already know. I say we go find this beast. Can we go search for the claw, or do we need more info? You could absolutely go search for the claw if you like. It's your tavern, I just keep it. Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry, the chat's moving too fast for me. Is it moving while we're in it? Maybe we could ask someone from one of the surrounding communities if they have seen any of the beast or know about the claw mark. Yeah, that's a great idea. You could absolutely do that. So you are in the taiga, so you are outside of, you're like in the middle of Jot'Kadon. I have some cool maps. I don't have anything for them yet. I did make a few other screens though. So you're like in the middle of this area, and you know, towards the south, it gets more towards not quite so frostbitten. They do have some short to medium length summers, and then they have some brutal winters. And then in the middle, we have the taiga area moving into the far north of Jot'Kadon, where it's like a tundra and like the Arctic as you get farther north. So with that, we could go to one of those surrounding communities or try to find somebody, or we could just go out and try to track it on the way and see what we find. Up to you guys. Which one of the communities that you mentioned earlier is the most inviting? Towards yourself, the most inviting. You actually have a feat here. It's a version of the folk hero. So let me find it in my grimoire here. It's called Tales Carried by Snow. Your name is carried by rumor, wind, and ale across the north. In Jot'Kadon, advantage on charisma checks when invoking your reputation or telling your own tales. So I probably should have given you advantage on talking to that guy. I forgot about that. You guys remind me next time, and I'll try to do it. So you'd be fairly welcome in most communities. The frost giants, you would know, tend to look at your race, or at least the frost Goliath race, the frost wardens. They would think of them as cousins or little brothers, and that you would be like a distant cousin of that. So when the traveler came through and mentioned it, did he say what way he was coming from? No, he did not. So essentially any of them would be fairly inviting to you. I'd say maybe the beast folk aren't, because you're kind of big on taking down legendary animals. It's kind of like your whole thing. So they may have some trepidation against you, but they would also have some admiration for you as well, for saving their communities or taking out some larger threats around them. So we could absolutely leave the tavern and head north, south, east, or west. There's going to be a different group of animals for each direction. So to your north, you're going to have like bear people, and they're going to be, polar bear people. And to your south, I believe, I can double check my notes, but I believe that was going to be more of a mix. You may have some Arctic wolves, you may have some Arctic foxes, and then to the east and to the west, you're going to have your hooved variations, more along the lines of your elk people, your moose people, your reindeer people. And then towards the far south, you definitely know that you have the human population that you could you do fairly well there. I imagine. Has any community been attacked by the Frostmain lately? Something like news from the grapevine. You didn't see really any patrons in here that you would be able to talk to via perception check. Although there wasn't really anyone else in there. There was a couple people who were probably asleep from drinking, and then you had the dwarven storyteller, and you had Yaga herself, who was the crone. I could probably give you perception, or advantage on that charisma check that we did before. We got a 6 minus 2, so 14. So with that, I'll retroactively say that you also learned that the claw mark was in a piece of wood, and the reason that it made him believe that it was a Frostmane lion was because the center of each claw mark was black, almost frostbitten color, and there was a bit of permafrost around the outside of it that didn't melt, given that the temperature had risen slightly. Let's go find the claw mark. Is there a news bounty board we could check to see if there's any clue? Not in the tavern. Correction of this wood. It's the wood that the tavern itself is located in. So currently the tavern is located in a taiga, which is like a frozen wood area. It often gets so cold there that trees will crack and split, and the sap inside will cause shards of like wood to fly out of it. Similar to like northern Canada, you could think. And it's in this woody area outside of the tundra that he heard that this claw mark was found. But you didn't get any more direction than that. He didn't have any more information than that from the traveler. You are currently in the tavern in the woods. The Tavern in the Woods. It's not a murder movie. What about the general area of like a guild building or town center? As I said, you would know of the towns that I mentioned. Of the settlement areas that I mentioned, there's definitely, you would know. I'm going to give you a history check. Let's see what we get better bonus on. I would say history or religion, but probably history is the way we're going to go. They're the same, so it doesn't matter. You got a 17 plus 3, so dirty 20. So you would definitely know that there's 3 enclaves in this area of wilders. Wilders are like your druids, rangers, protectors of the woods, and that they would be that there's an enclave in the north, the middle, and the south. Although you don't know where the actual grove of each one is, you do know that they have a presence in each one of those areas. Might have to make me roll on my NPC index there. Is the claw mark magic, and do we have detect magic? I don't believe you have detect magic. You have divine sense, which allows you to detect good and evil within like 60 feet, I believe. And you could definitely do like a survival or nature check or something like that on the on what you would know of a Frostmane lion. You do get not great bonuses to those. Although, however, if you've referenced the sheet over here to my right or maybe my left for you guys. There's an area down here that says actions, and you have something, to the right of that, or the left for you guys, beside that is skills, and it says AIWW, which means advantage in winter woods. So survival checks in the winter woods itself, or I believe stealth checks in the winter woods itself, you get advantage on those things. Yeah, stealth and survival. Direction of the Wilder Enclaves. The Wilder Enclaves themselves are kind of like the center of the grove itself is kind of a well-kept secret from each area. Well, in like cities and stuff, if they have a grove near there, it would be known about. So maybe in the south there would be the one close by. They would know about that one, as it would help the people in that. But definitely the ones in the middle and in the northern areas would be kind of tucked away and secret, unless you knew a friend or had been there for a reason. You could definitely go try to find it though. Well, let's see. Let's roll percentage and see if a wilder has been through here recently. I would say very 50-50 chance on that, because they definitely have a presence in the area. We got a 40. Oh, I rolled two. I rolled 2 of the 100 dice. So one more time. Oh, that was a way better roll anyway. We got a 70. So we got a 70. I forgot to explain how it works to you guys, but yes, a wilder has been through here recently, so you would have the possibility of finding NPC index. They say that a woman named an Aarakocra woman named Silverwing had recently been through there. In which direction from where we are? You would know that frost lions like the cold. The colder the better. So with that, I would say you would probably imagine they would go north. To the Northern Enclave! Maybe let's step outside and see if we can find our way to the Northern Enclave. Let's get a big hunk of raw meat and start heading north into the cold and try to lure it out. I feel like tracking north makes sense. Can we track Silverwing? Try going pss, 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 pss. If you try to convince it with a pss, 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 we might give you advantage on that roll. I like that. I feel like tracking north makes sense. So everybody kind of wants to go north. Agree on the pss, 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 pss. Yeah, we can absolutely head out and go north. That is for cats. I don't know, I'd probably work on me. Alright, so do we have any other questions before Logan? Questions, comments, actions, or concerns before we leave? Seems like everybody wants to go north. I gotta work on getting this area see-through so that I can put the chat in it. It was supposed to pop up right there. It was supposed to be so sweet. Are we taking the mug? I don't know. Are you taking the mug? Are you attempting to take the mug? It is a nice mug. Absolutely rare the chalice. It costs a whole gold. D20 sleight of hands. We eat the mug. We eat the mug. Absolutely. So we open our glowing mead. We chug it down. We feel the warmth spread through us as we finish the entire tankard of mead. And functionally for you guys, what you're going to need to remember is that for the next 24 hours until your next long rest, you guys have advantage on Constitution saving throws. I'm going to write it here in green so I remember. And so we're going to D20 sleight of hand. So let me check our sleight of hand. All right, we get a +1. So let's see how this goes. We get a 17. So let me roll my big metal dice that's not your guys's. And you don't get to know what that was. But you slide the mug into your backpack. I don't know if you're going to be able to see them, but I have 2 sets of dice for you guys. I have blue and rainbow. And then for myself and everyone else, we have these giant metal dice that are almost impossible to read by firelight. Sweet. Hello, yeah. Heck yeah. Hells yeah. Pretty. Wait, did we get the sleight of hand roll? I missed it. Yes, we did the sleight of hand roll. You guys got a 17? 16, I believe it was. And so you slid it into your bag fairly, or pocket, wherever you want to put it, like your own head cannon. You put it in there. It's in our pack. Hell yeah. It was a 17. Tip, it was a 17. Our pack is gonna smell like meat. I'm sure that's not the worst thing our pack has smelled like. So we're leaving now, I imagine. Fantastic. So as we walk out the door, I'm throwing a perception check, but I'm not going to tell you why. That's cocked. It was 4 minus 2, I think, is our perception. Oh, but we get advantage because we're leaving. 19. Sweet. I knew that advantage would come in handy. So you get a 19 minus 2, so you get a 17 as you leave. So as you step out of the tavern door and you look out into the frosty woods, you feel the weight of the mug you have just slid into your backpack disappear. Run, Forrest, run. Oh, okay. So as we sprint out of the tavern and sprint away into the woods, we notice the weight of the backpack disappear. Well, it's not rude. It's a magically you know what? I'm not gonna argue with you guys. Let's go back and get it. So do you want to turn around and sprint back into the tavern? Double dukes. Well, no. Go. Nope. All right, we got 2 yeses, 2 nos. Tipped. What's up? Do we go back in the tavern or no? Turns out we're fighting a hag for it doesn't look like this. It doesn't look like this. It's plain porcelain white. It has a single paw print on it. Well, the mug itself wasn't glowing. The liquid inside of it was glowing. So the glow faded and was gone as you finished it. It matches our stuff, but there's frost kitties to be found. Oh, we're up to 8. Fantastic. Well, thank you all for joining us. Every time I welcome people, they leave, so don't leave. All right, guys, so what are we doing? I need one person to tell me that hasn't talked yet. All right, tipped. It was up to you. We're heading out. So as we're leaving and we're continue our sprint into the woods, we do hear the tavern door open and close again behind us. Onward to glory! A sour look. Let me do a sour. Hold on. Hold on, I got this. Ma. Okay. Was that sour enough? Sweet. We made like a baby. We got the fuck out of here. So we hear the door open and close behind us as we leave, and we head into the woods. And we're heading northwards, you guys say? So, fantastic. Fantastic. We're going to head north, and this is going to be a survival check. Oh, well, let me ask you, what are we looking for specifically? Are we looking for Silverwing? And you guys can tell me if it's something else. I don't want to railroad you. It's your tavern. I just keep it. You guys can go travel off to some other tropical land and become a traveling solo boy band. You know what I mean? Whatever you guys want to do, we'll do some rolls we'll throw some math rocks. But as I saw it, we have 3 options. We have follow the Frostmane or try to track the Frostmane essentially find the claw mark for it here in the woods. Try to find it itself and track it. We have tried to find the traveler, or try to find the wilder, what was her name? Silverwing. Hunt the lion for glory. Right, that's what we're doing. But on our way north, what are we doing to hunt the lion for? Those were the options I saw. So are we going to look for the lion itself, its claw mark, and tracks? That can all fall under lion. So lion, traveler, Silverwing. Try and track the lion, methinks. I say find the Enclave and or Silverwing. I love that. It's always right back to back. As soon as one of you guys decides something, the other person wants to do something else. Two for lion. Three for lion. Okay, cool. So we'll do lion next. So now, let me ask you, are we looking for the lion itself, or we're going to try to find the claw marks? Okay, let's do that. Are we working in the direction of the northern enclave then, or are we going to try to work in the direction of the western, the middle enclave? He does do some wild side quests. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a survival roll at advantage. So we're going to roll our 2 pretty math rocks here. And we're going to see if we find the lion tracks or whatever it is. We got a 4 and a 3, so we got a 1 and a 2. So we don't find shit. You guys don't find anything. You actually, I would say, probably even get a little lost in the woods. You could probably find your way back to the tavern, but I doubt you're gonna find the tracks. I'm sorry, it's not lies. I gotta get you guys a dice can. It's still on them. I could move the phone, but then we're gonna lose the angle. You guys are gonna see my dirty garage. It'll break immersion. You're not gonna think I'm in a comfy, cozy tavern. It's all good. Absolutely. Very upset about the mug. We're still thinking about that. So I would say we came to the tavern. Let's roll a math rock for it. Morning, noon, or night. 1, 2, or 3. So we came in the evening. So I would say we could probably do 1 more per survival check and see if we find it. Also, I imagine you guys are trying to be stealthy while we do this because it's a hunt. Head wasn't in the game, that's right. The Enclave, presumably you would think the Enclave has knowledge of most of the animals, particularly the wild animals around it. We're a paladin, right? Wearing armor? We are wearing armor. We're wearing leather armor, I believe it was. Let me check here. We're wearing a leather armor made from polar bear. And it has the double function of being an armor, but it's also fur-lined, and you have a big polar bear fur cloak to keep you warm in these harsh environments. Dude, I practiced so hard to be able to find all this. Hide. It's hide armor. My apologies. No disadvantage. Yeah, hide armor, no disadvantage. We could hire a ranger to help guide us through the woods, but presumably we'd have to find one. We could smell very good. We could try to lure the lion out. I don't know that we... Bojitsu said grab a big hunk of meat. So we can say that you guys grabbed some meat while you were there, if you like. So the one that you know that you would be able to easily find is not within like a day's traveling distance. There is the Enclave in the middle where we don't know where it is. We would have to find Silverwing to see if she could tell us or get the information from her. We also could have asked Yaga at Yaga's Baba, but we did not ask her. We could also find the Traveler. We could see if there's anyone else around. There's a few options for us. You would have to go to the Wilder Enclave to know if they had info on the lion for sure. The way I answered that question for you is presumably you would know with the roll that you got on the Wilders that they would have information on the animals, flora, and fauna around the area, as they are typically rangers, druids, and protectors of nature. What up, Rockin' Ryan? Spider bite dog, snake bite dog? Is that a snake? Yeah, the Enclave would definitely have rangers. But I'm not going to give you any more information on the lion until you figure it out yourself. So presumably we're gonna you guys have enough time to do one more survival check or one more check of whatever sort that you would like, and then we're gonna have to set up camp. Or you can work through the night if you like. But I don't believe we have dark vision, so it will be a disadvantage. So straight rolls that have a minus to them. Yeah, no dark vision. Call out for Silverwing. One more check, but for the Enclave this time. We fail our next roll, but we have torches. Oh yeah, you would definitely have torches, for sure. I was just saying if you did it in the dark, you would do it at disadvantage. So, do we want to yell out for Silverwing? Do we want to do another survival check and take a nappy nap? The survival check, we will have to decide if we're looking for the Enclave. You would have to, it would be a survival check to see if you could find a settlement, and if the Enclave was nearby, you could possibly find it. So are we going to look for the Enclave? Are we going to do another check for the lion for glory? Or what the hell? A squid? We're going to look for squid? We can look for squid. If you guys want to look for squid, let's do it. I love a good calamari. Enclave. Okay, cool. So we've got 2 for the Enclave. So, as we said before, are we going to look for the Enclave itself, or are we going to look for Silverwing, who is part of the Enclave? Whichever has the lower DC. It's definitely going to be Silverwing who has the lower DC. I would say that you know that it's going to be easier to find someone who is nearby recently than it would be to find a place that you're not sure where it's at. You're aware of a broad region, but Jot'Kadon's a huge place. Alright, we're going to do a survival with advantage -2, I believe it is. Did it say +2? No, our wisdom's -2. Yeah, -2. 18 or 17. So we'll take that 18 and knock it down to a 16. And I'll say that you have found the tracks of a person, and with those tracks, you could try to identify them. We can see how that goes. Yeah. Maybe I didn't phrase it well. You know that recently that Silverwing had passed through the tavern, at least the day of. The traveler had been longer than that. What did I say you got? Let me see here. You got a 16. With a 16, you're going to know that they are that it's an Aarakocra or Kinku or someone with claws rather than talons, rather than regular feet. Bust out the magnifying glass. Oh wow, we got a 10 and an... Oh, do you get advantage on investigation? I don't think you do. You get a +1. So we're gonna take the higher, and we'll get it. We'll just say you got advantage because magnifying glass. So 16 with a 16, you're fairly certain these are Aarakocra tracks, and that they are. Where's that die at? They are 3 hours old. So you could push through the night to try to find them. What are we doing? Sherlock? You guys are great, yes. We're making calamari, you didn't hear? So we found tracks. They were Aarakocra tracks, or at least bird people tracks. You're fairly certain they're Aarakocra. You know they're 3 to 4 hours old in this weather condition. I would say that it's freshly snowed, at least that day, and that they're still there in that. Not very windy, so it hasn't blown over the tracks, and you know that they're roughly 3 hours old. You also know that an Aarakocra could fly, so 3 hours by foot and 3 hours by flight are different things. Follow the tracks, hunting silverwing, calamari, and starting a boy band. We made some calamari, and we decided we're going to be a solo island boy. Hunting through the night, your consequences are going to be that it's going to be more difficult to track, although you do have torches. That would give you like almost double disadvantage, or would give you disadvantage on stealth, which you have advantage on in the Windward Wood, so it'd be a straight roll. You would also have to make a Constitution saving throw to see if you take a point of exhaustion for staying up through the night. That's all I can think of. All right. So how many actions did we make that? So we did our first thing, or like how many things did we just do? We did our first thing, which was leave, and we ran out, and then we tried to find them. And we got somewhat lost. The second one we did much better, so we found them, and then we investigated the tracks. And then now we're deciding if we want to follow the tracks or what we want to do here. Spooky noises. That's not the right thing. It wasn't supposed to change to that. It was supposed to change to... It was supposed to change to this. When you guys started hunting. My bad. I changed it to creepy, scary music. Hunt through the night. No glory in resting. That is kind of, if you wanted to know about our traits and flaws, I didn't put those up there. But our flaw is we fear nothing except for not being a legend, and we cannot abide anyone stealing our glory. Our regret is we once saved a Waitari merchant caravan from a Yeti ambush, but arrived too late to be of a lot of use. But the story spread with your name attached, and our greatest regret is that the young Waitari guard was not credited with the bravery that she deserved. Alright, we're gonna hunt it out. Alright, so we're gonna follow the footprints. Let me flip some pages here in our magic book. Alright, so we're hunting through the night. The lion hunter does not concern himself with points of exhaustion. And you would also remember that you get advantage on Constitution saving throws from that lovely mead that you had drank. You said the lion does not concern himself. Fantastic, I love that line, but it definitely made me think of in Zombieland, of where he goes, where Woody Allen, is it Woody Allen? He goes, you ever see a lion stretch before it takes down a gazelle? Cool, so we're gonna roll stealth. We're gonna do that as a straight roll, so the advantage and disadvantage count out. So we got a 10 minus 2, I believe our stealth is. Oh no, it's plus 3. Okay, so we got a 13. Good. And then we want survival for tracking, which we get advantage in. And we're gonna keep the advantage because we're gonna use a torch. Woody Harrelson, thank you. Did we decide if we're going to use a torch or not? If we use a torch, we'll get disadvantage in stealth. We'll get a straight roll in stealth. It'll cancel our advantage. If we don't use a torch, we'll keep our advantage in stealth, but we'll lose our advantage in survival. Up to you, my friends. Dear patrons. With torch? Okay, cool. So, we're not hunting the lion. We're looking to talk to a person. Correct. What's the worst that the lion we get? I mean, what could possibly happen? Okay, cool. So, I'm gonna roll this again, but if the 13 was higher, we'll take that. So we're gonna do a regular stealth. It was 10 again. So we're gonna go for survival with advantage. We got a 12 and an 18. So the 18 minus 2 is a 16. But we got a 13 on stealth. Yeah, it's still survival. We're not. Sorry, I gotta do this for the podcast. We're not hunting the lion. We're looking to talk to a person. That's true, but as Tipped mentions, that's still survival because it's like you're tracking the person in the woods. So we got a 16 on our survival and our tracking. We did get a 13 on our stealth. So it is roll some dice time that you guys don't get to see. 1 and then what's the chance? Okay. All right. Minus that DM dice rolling noises. So as you continue along, you fantastic. So you follow along, and the talon tracks seem to hop from place to place. But you do a fairly good job of using your torch in the darkness to see where the talon it'll go up in the air, and then usually about 100 feet to 100 yards, so 100 to 300 feet down, you're going to have another landing area. So it seems like the wind or the snow or something with the frosty air seems to be making this person stay, or perhaps they're looking for something. They seem to be doing this or even conserving their strength. So as you're observing and investigating one of these tracks, you hear a noise. And as you look up, amber eyes blink in a snowy drift. The snow moves wrong, and then you realize you were foolish to believe that you were the only hunter in this land that does not forgive clumsy feet. No, wrong button. 1 second. Killing the mood. So, fantastic. I'm not quite good enough to have tokens up over here yet, but this is the area we're in, and I would say that we're in between, if you guys can see where I'm pointing, there's a rock here. We're going to be in between the two rocks and those icy patches, right where that black mark is. Oh no, oh no, oh look, a lovely map so we can see all the not dangers. So you can't see all the not dangers. All you get to see is the relative terrain around you, because I'm not quite that good yet, but I will get there one day. And then I'm going to start doing virtual tabletop games that you're going to be required to play. So you remember, you're not the only hunter, as two wolves circle around from either side. So call it the northern rock here. The wolf is one wolf is circling around in front of you there, and to the rock to our direct left, where that map, that black mark is on the map, to the left of this pond, the other wolf is going to be circling around through that path there. Wolves. Did I not mention that? They're wolves. They're two Arctic wolves. Well, they just have like frosty coats. They're not like giant hulking frosty wolves. They're just regular, as far as you can tell, regular run-of-the-mill 2 wolves. Are they big boys? I mean, they're wolves. They're like timber wolves. They big. Bigger than dogs typically are. So, they're not acting aggressively towards you yet, but you can definitely... Let's roll survival again before I just give you free information. Okay, you got a 12 minus 2, so a 10. That's gonna be... You can tell they're wolves and that they seem interested in doing wolfly things with you. Draw a weapon, bulk up in an intimidating manner. Absolutely, we can do that. I like that. So, I'll pull this back over here so you guys can see our stats again. Oh no, don't cancel. Don't mess up. What's happening? Oh, no. We're almost there, guys. There we go. So, wolfy things with us? Grrr, wolfy things. Grrr. Reach out a hand to see if they want to be friends. Alright. The Captain America mug. We don't have that anymore. It disappeared. So we have what it looks like 2 options of, are we going to intimidate them or are we going to try to be friends with them? I will let you know that your animal handling is a wisdom saving throw. I mean, a wisdom skill check. So you have a -2 to that. Whereas your intimidation is a +6 because you're proficient in it, and you also have a 19 in it because we just rolled obnoxiously well. Yeah, your charisma's high, so but it's an animal, so that's a wisdom thing. Your wisdom is low. Your charisma's super high, so you can be very intimidating, you can be very charming. But you guys chose to take proficiency in intimidation rather than persuasion or anything else. I think. You might also be proficient in persuasion. Yeah, you are. You're also proficient in persuasion. Well, shit, gotta intimidate. Intimidation, roar at them, and flap a cloak a bit to look like a big wolf. Intimidate, intimidate. Hell yeah, lots of intimidation. Sweet. So we're gonna roll. Wait, that's my die. You guys get 12 plus 6 is an 18, and then they're gonna roll to see how well they do against it. Okay, so the wolf to your north slinks down as you bulk up and roar. Maybe slam your shield with your mace, and you roar. And the one wolf backs down a bit, and the wolf to your north does not seem infected at all. In fact, he may seem a little more interested now that you've made an aggressive move. Mechanically, behind the scenes, 1 success and 1 failure. I'll swing us back over to the map. No, this one. I also have to figure out how to work that from this, so that I don't have to get right up in your face every time. I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? Really ruins the vibe. Oh, it's a tree. To the left of the pond where the tree is, that's where we found the track, that's where we are. Maybe ready in action to thwack the aggressive wolf if it jumps. Bring it on. I'm channeling my inner tip. Fight, fight, fight. Move to put our back to the big rock. I like it. Very tactical. I definitely thought that you were going to say hit it with a chokehold, and I can't believe Bojutsu hasn't said shank him, shank him, shank him, shank him yet. So the other weapon that we do have, if you guys want to decide which one that you use, you have a Morning Star as well as a Walrus Tusk knife. It's a very large knife, and it has the stats of a short sword. So you get a +6 to hit, and you roll a 1d8 +4 with your Morning Star, and then with your Walrus Tusk, you get a +6, and you roll a 1d6. So your hit's the same, but you hit a slight. You do slightly more damage with the mace. Your Morning Star. We're back. Okay, fantastic. So we move. We put our back against the large. I would say you'd probably put your back against this small shrubby tree, maybe. They are to your what would be your southwest and your northeast. So they're towards coming around this way, and the other one that's slinking away is around that way. You could put your back to that rock, but it would put you with your back towards a wolf, if that makes sense. Ready the mace. Fantastic. So we keep them both in view. We back up. I would say you could easily back up down to this rock down here in the back right corner, actually. So you could very easily back up down there, put your back against the wall there, and ready your mace. So if the wolf makes an aggressive action, you're going to hit it with the mace. You do have a few spells as well as a paladin. You have Shield of Faith. You have... What was the other one we chose? Cure Wounds? Yeah, Cure Wounds, Shield of Faith, and then you have Divine Sense and Lay on Hands. Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying. Just somewhere the wolves can't get behind you. Fantastic. So you back up, and as the wolf, how are we going to do this? We're going to do initiative, and then let it be action if it does something aggressive. We'll just play it out here, and then we'll roll initiative. The first wolf is definitely going to take a running lunge at you and try to strike you here in the as you're cornered into this rock. So I'm going to do, since you readied your action, I'm going to roll yours first, but if yours misses, then the wolf will get the chance to attack. If yours hits, then he's not going to get that chance to attack before we roll initiative. So for you, we're going to do 19, which very, very much hits, and then I believe you get a D8 plus 3, D8 plus 4. So a 2 plus 4 is 6. Fantastic. So you come across as it leaps to attack you. You catch it on your shield, and then you come over at the top, and you give it a good bonk on the head with your Morning Star. And as you do that, the wolf has some blood dripping down the side of its face, and it's growling at you. But when you hit it, it's definitely gonna and then we're gonna roll initiative and go into combat. So we're gonna roll for you guys first. We got an 11 minus something, I think, is our initiative, because we suck at wisdom. Oh no, we're good at initiative. Plus 1. So we get a 12. And then we're going to roll... Okay, that makes sense. So wolf number 1 is going to get to go first. You are going to go second, and then wolf number 3 is going to go third. So he's going to make another biting, lunging attack. Should have readied your action for sure. Your cats just went into combat with each other. You definitely should have readied your action. Let's see. Let me do some math real quick. 16. All right, just 16, just barely gets a hold of you. And so as this wolf gets a hold of you. No, I lost one. Damn it. So Logan is going to get bitten on the arm, and he's going to take 5 points of damage. First combat, guys. What? Oh, let me slide over here a little bit. First combat, guys. Wow, what a rush. So we are currently sitting at 7 points. Our HP is at 7. It looks like the wolf in front of us has... Did I just do your turn for you? No. That was the wolf's turn. Okay, so it's the wolf in front of us has taken a hit to the head. It's attacked you, and it did not run away. So now it's up to Logan's turn. What do we do? Quick, make reckless decisions while the responsible one is gone. Yeah. Absolutely do that. So it is at the top of the round. I haven't decided now if we're going to do... I guess now is the time to decide. Let's vote in chat. Are we going to do turn-based? Like, each of you get to take a turn? Or as a group, are we going to decide what we do per turn? I don't have a bot for, like, random assigning yet, but I will mentally assign you guys number and roll some dice, and we'll see who gets to take the turn. As a group, as a group, as a group. Whack them again, as a group, more balanced. Okay, yeah, we can do group for now. If this comes up and is a problem, then we can change it. But I think as a group sounds great, and I will figure out how to get some kind of bot so I can do some polls and stuff, or something like that. Okay, so it's up to you guys. We have our action, bonus action, and movement. What would we like to do with that? I'm going to pull us back over to his character sheet so we can see what we have available here for you. Morning Star Uppercut. Morning Star Uppercut. Yes. Shops me go. Morning Star Uppercut. Tip says whack 'em. Agreed. Yeah, that sounds great. If there's a ton of dissent, we can do a poll. Cast Morning Star, whack 'em. Fantastic. So we're going to hit him again. So with our Morning Star, we get +6 to hit. Beautifully done. And then we get to roll our D8. My favorite description of a D8 ever that I used at my last one that I stole from another DM from Dungeons and Daddies, I think. His name's Anthony Birch. He says the D8 looks like two pyramids ass to ass, and that is like the funniest thing I've ever heard. Oh, wow, you guys maxed it out. I gotta get a dice cam. So you get an 8 + 4, so 12. So you swing over, and what happens? How does our attack land there? Because you wipe this, you explode its head with your 12 damage. That's as much health as I think it has total. No, that's more health than it typically has total. So you, like, evaporate its head. Fantastic. So we come up and over. I love the uppercut idea. Come up. Oh, up and under. And knock the head back. Let me comedy retraction that. Redaction. We bring it over, and with a smooth uppercut, we bust the bottom of the jaw. Wolf fangs go flying out, and we tear the entire jaw away as we do it, and the wolf falls over. And you guys keep saying roar, so I'm gonna give you an intimidation roll with advantage on the remaining wolf to see if you scare him off with your fantastic roar. This one was cocked, so we'll roll it again. 15 + 3, and then, no, 6. 15 + 6, so a dirty 21. God, that's going to come up so much. You're going to scare everyone into everything. Okay, so our remaining wolf, seeing his friend's bottom jaw just get ripped off and explode, he runs and scampers off into the woods, never to be seen again. Nothing scarier than a Twitch chat. Right. Nothing scarier is scarier than a Twitch chat. Fantastic. So we're out of combat order now. We do have a dead wolf lying at our feet, and that'll be time for me to introduce you to one of our items that I didn't really have time to describe, but we have our Warden's Grammar. It's essentially hunting tools. So it's a leather and wooden workbox that folds out into a small work table, and it has like a skinning knife, a filleting knife. It's going to have like a bone saw on it, a butcher's knife, and it's essentially for you to use as a hunter's kit quote unquote, to harvest things from animals should you choose to do so. It also has some clever folding leather pockets to it so that you can put things in it. Good night, Goblin Sentinel. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Have a lovely night, and the tavern welcomes you. Get that pelt. Absolutely. So you guys get to add your proficiency bonus to this, but I think you already get that with survival. No, you have advantage in survival. So we'll add your proficiency bonus to it, which will cancel it out, so it's a straight roll with advantage. Let's see how our roll goes, and then we'll see what we get from it. If you can we get the pelt, teeth, and meat? Yeah, more pelts. Get that pelt. So we're gonna see what we get, and we'll see how many nice fur coats we can make from it. Oh, that's a D6. That's the wrong one. And you guys get it with advantage. Unfortunately, we got a 4 and a 2, and it's a straight roll. So we're gonna take the 4. And we're going to get some usable meat off of this, but as we skin it for the meat and the pelt, we absolutely butcher the pelt, and we destroyed the teeth when we uppercutted it. So that makes sense thematically. We've kind of did a lot of damage to the fur of it, so we don't get much of you don't get any pelt, you don't get any teeth, you do get some meat. The more fur coats we get, the bigger we look. That's true. Dang, we were too hype after wrecking the wolf. Sad face. Well, shit. Knife was too shaky from the adrenaline dump. Yeah, that's fair enough. Back to the track. Yeah, so are we going to continue to track? I would say that didn't take very long. Probably knocked you off course by maybe 15 minutes or so. We're going to continue to track through the night. So we're going to get advantage -2 on our survival check. All right, hold on. Let me move the rest of these dice out of my dice tray. They keep messing up my dice. All right, here we go. All right, we got a 16 and a 15, so that is going to bring us to a total of 14. So we follow it pretty well. Let me pull back up to what I set this at. Oh no, we nail it exactly. So we follow along behind, and as we track, we see that we've lost a little bit of ground, but in the fight, but we did gain quite a bit of ground. So the next track we see, Silverwing is probably an hour to an hour and a half ahead of us, and you would imagine that this wherever she is next is where she has decided to spend the night. Track through the night. Oh, let's see. Cindy Lauper. Cool. So, yep, you can do one more check, and we'll see if you guys find her. As she's about an hour ahead of you guys now. 15 -2, that brings you down to a 13. So unfortunately, while you know she's close by, you can't quite find her in the dark on this check. Yes, you did it with a torch. That's why you had advantage on it. You guys were using the torch, so you still got advantage on your survival check. But we didn't do a stealth check for you. So I should do that as a regular roll for the disadvantage. Out of the tray, doesn't count. So a 19 +2, I believe you have for stealth. +3. So you get a 22 on your stealth. So you're fairly confident that you're being very sneaky as you follow these tracks. And this is where the tracks take you. Unfortunately, no. You know that you're in the vicinity of her. You knew last time you had a successful check. You knew that she was only an hour ahead. And then this past time, you did not successfully do it. So you know that you're very close to her, but you do not know exactly where she is. You know she's within walking distance from you. You would imagine, because she's got to have taken... You would assume that she's taking a short rest, or taking a long rest. at this point. Could we call out to her in a non-threatening manner? We still don't see her camp. I mean, we might as well. That one, call out. Okay, so let's do a little perception check before we call out. Okay, cool. So yeah, as you look around, you imagine it's fairly safe to call out. So you call out loudly. You probably have a deep, booming voice that'll carry a ways, I bet. Okay, let me see if I can do it. What was her name? Silverwing? Silverwing. Okay. What do we say? And then I'll do it in my best deep booming voice. Didn't like that. Let's change that hairstyle. Let's fix that. Deep booming but non-threatening is possible. Alright, you guys tell me what to say and I'll do it in my best deep booming non-threatening voice. And we will roll persuasion to see how it goes. Silverwings, are you there? We seek information. Okay, cool. Persuasion, you get a +6, so this should go well. 15 plus 6 is a 21. So, Silverwing! Are you there? We seek information! Was that too loud for you guys? I'm sorry. If you're wearing headphones, I didn't think of that. My apologies. So, we're going to roll a perception on that. We got an 11 and a natural 20. Oh, that's dope. It's a shame we have a minus on our perception. So you hear two voices call out. You hear one say,
Who are you?
and another one that says, What? What do you see? There you go. Boom, boom. I know, the nat 20 is so dope, but you guys get a subtraction to your perception. I'm like, how do I play that? I would say one is coming from the northeast, and one's probably coming from the southwest. We are seeking the hide of the winter mane. Okay? So, are we telling her we're hunting it, or are we telling her that we're just looking for it? The reason I ask is because you guys rolled fairly well on your history on what a wilder was, and so because of that, you would know that they typically seek to protect the natural order of things. We are seeking the hide, just looking. We want to be the friends with the lion, right? Oh, good call. Sleepy ditto. I mean, at this point, you're all in bed with me. Yeah, I'm a little sleepy myself. Okay, so we can. Oh wow, we've been going for an hour and a half. Wow. Okay, so I will say that as you call out and we seek the Frostmane lion. So I am Logan. I seek the Frostmane lion. And again, you hear two voices answer, and one says,
I am Silverwing.
and the other one says. One from the northeast, one's from the southwest, and the other one says...
You know the lion.
One's a deeper voice, the other one's like a higher pitched voice. No, they're not. They're absolutely not coming from the same direction. One's coming from the northeast, and the other one's coming from the southwest. So if you guys like, we can investigate one of those voices. We can leave off until next week here with the decision of which voice to investigate. We've been going for an hour and a half. I did plan for only an hour. I got caught up with all of it. It was a great time. Are both some dudes just out in the forest eavesdropping? Yeah, I want to know more about the random dude, but I want to know more when I'm less sleepy. Yeah, we can absolutely do that if you guys like. Yeah, you can definitely tell. Probably together, but go towards the female voice. Yeah, you did know Silverwing was a female. Okay, fantastic. So we'll go towards the southeast, and as we approach the southeast, we go for, I would say, 150 feet or so, or the voice carried for a good distance. And as we approach, we see a small campfire and a small lean-to that seems to have been grown out of the ground. Like a small tent, but it seems to have been grown out of the ground. And the fire is dug into the permafrost, and it seems like it's been built that way so that the heat will flow into the lean-to that has been made in the ground. And seated and around the fire, crouched down, you see Silverwing, a beautiful, gleaming Aarakocra who has the head of an owl. Is that a different kind? We're going to call it Aarakocra for now. It's a bird person. So a bird person, a bird female, who, or at least higher pitched voice, has the head of an owl with great big snow owl wings. She's crouched there with little to no covering on her. She does have a bit of leather armor that is stitched here, and then she doesn't appear to be carrying any weapons. I think Silverwing, because could we move closer to that? Ooh, lovely. Yeah. So that's who you see there, is presumably Silverwing. And you guys did fantastic on your charisma roll. I think it was like a 22, 23. So she, in her owl voice, which I'll have to work on now that we have this character, she invites you to sit by the fire. She says,
Join me by the fire. It's much too cold for you to be out wandering at night.
I mean, she's got a cozy campfire. Can we ask to join her? She invites you to join her. Ooh, this is pretty intense music. Let's switch it over to something cozy. Oh no, I lost the music. What have I done? I've messed up, guys. Give me just 1 second. I lost the music and then I lost my my chat. So let's fix the music. And then how? There we go. Fantastic. Take a seat at the fire. Yay, warm the toes. Thanks for the respite. Amok? Amok. Yes, I ran amok. Sorry. So yeah, fantastic. You take a seat by the fire. There's nothing for you to sit on. I mean, maybe some rocks or something like that. But the fire is small but warm, and you join her by the fire. She doesn't appear to be eating anything, but she is sipping a cup, a small cup of something. It's a metal cup. Amok, 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 amok. And I think that's where we're going to close our tavern tales for the night, guys. It is quite late, and I think we got quite a bit done. I really appreciate everyone joining us here. Offer some wolf meat. Yay, Tavern Tales. Yes, absolutely. So thank you all for joining us here at Tavern Tales. Until next time, may your swords stay sharp, your wits stay sharper, and may your story continue long into the night. Join us in the Discord. Yes. Oh, thank you. Join us in the Discord. I do have a Discord posted attached to the Twitch. I also have a YouTube channel that has the first episode. So it's someone who hasn't seen it, absolutely join us at the Discord in the Gilded Coin Tavern. We have a lovely chef. We have a great curator. We have a garden. We have everything you could possibly want to join in on. We have the first episode on YouTube, and all the links should be attached to the profile. Yeah, I think almost everybody is currently in the Discord, but for the YouTube channel, I'll be able to edit that together in a nice little thing. Bye. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining me.